This is IBM Museum, and it's time for another unboxing. Probably more even like a mail call for all that. And these are items that I've actually ordered, um, primarily from eBay. So it's not like anything that viewer submissions or anything like that that I've had in the past, but it's built up. I've actually this is over the last couple weeks, and this is just actually about half of it. This is the more of like microchannel related items or PS2 related items. I've had some other stuff come in that's not necessarily related to a lot of the aspects of the channel, although I have like a, PicMig backplane and things like that that came in as well that I could feature. I mean, I've done videos on those as well in the past, but I'm going to go through. I'll get myself off screen here so I know I have the full field of view, and I'll try and bring up actually I'll at least provide links in the video description, if not otherwise bringing them up on the screen with like the browser capture and things like that for some of these items. And there are particular items I'd even go through and kind of pen some notes in places on the boxes just to figure out what they were. I've got one over here that I was really um, expecting this. I wanted to, I did have a part of this already. And of course, I've gone through, I've masked off all the relevant addresses and tracking numbers and things like that. I I don't think that there's really any papers. I mean, papers with writing on them. The pretty good packing job, fold up paper and things like that for how they package these. And these are, this is, and there's not a page for this as of yet, although there will be, with, it's kind of like its microchannel aspect. And so this is the microchannel aspect of it. As I say, I've already had one of these going through, and this actually adapts to microchannel from the ISA adapter, or 8-bit adapter, I guess. Not to even check on this 8-bit adapter and see what exactly, um, because IBM went through and changed the port address with like the mul 30 and mul 25, where it was like port 80 before, and they changed it to port 90 for the mul 30. I didn't have this particular item of it, and that's why I mean, I could have got that alone because I already had one of these, but it goes through and um, yeah, I'm assuming kind of the this is not necessarily keyed anyway. Sometimes they'll go through and they'll say they'll have an arrow pointing to the back. I guess it should be, I think it should be silk screen to silk screen, solder side to solder side. But I'll actually go through and make sure of that. And that's set up for the 16-bit microchannel slot or an 8-bit slot, and just that address to code chip on that. So I was really waiting for this. Tube Time US actually did a, I think he just completed a microchannel post card board, and you know, the indicators and everything else of some of the signals on the lines. And of course, it's got the 2-digit. Okay, so there it's got arrow must face side back of computer, and at least for the, you know, for the 8-bit slot, I mean, you could get that in ultimately backwards for all that. And I don't know what, and there's even is that like a ground? They say probe. Oh, okay, so it gives indicator, the LED indicators. And it'd be good to have a manual for these. I know that there's manuals floating around. Hopefully somebody's got one scanned. But that is a cool thing. I mean, these microchannel ones, they give a little bit more indicators than the parallel port postcode reader does. I'm going to put those kind of together, put it off to the side here, knife on the side. Because you remember the parallel port postcode reader, and then I have my little mouse adapter for power and things like that. These are handy for every PS2 model out there because they're supported. And, you know, but these give less indications than something that's on the microchannel bus, of course. And I did actually even order, I think there's 3 or 4 of more of these I've ordered, instruction booklets and everything else. And I need to send a couple of these out, actually. They've got the little booklets. And so I've got more of those as well, because these are little handy things to have around with PS2s. And I even ordered another 8-bit adapter, but since it's virtually the same as what that is, I think I'm good for just moving on to the other unboxings. So there is, okay, and I didn't mask up everything that I could have. I didn't see that hanging off to the side there. I think that's got just about everything that's critical there. And I've even had these for probably about 10 days or so. And looking at actually sending out one of these adapters. And I don't want to upset people, but I'm actually looking at where I'm sending it out to be ultimately disassembled, which I think is kind of cool. I mean, there's still, if you want to get one of these adapters, I can just contact me. I know where these things are still available, and they might even be brand new like this. Okay. And they're even labeled. They're in these nice anti-static bags, packed well. But these are the old land streamer, and even says hot spare for the print server. So I guess they had a print server with the token ring land streamer. And I had thought, in fact, I had the page up for the auto adapter, but I've got, it's interesting that the version I have two of the later version of this. The one of the chip is actually changed, and I didn't do a good link of those. I don't. I guess I can go through and kind of show it up close. The ring, all the lighting is going to play havoc on this reflective plastic. And I think it's all the same microcode version that's on these. Let me go through and pull up the page because I actually have to go through and correct that because I had, okay, give me a moment here. Okay, so this is the page at the Arden tool, and it's a Landstreamer MC32, meaning microchannel and 32-bit bus. And there's two versions of this, mainly in the chip. One of the chips that's on this adapter, and the ones I got is the older chipset. So I kind of want to see the difference between the old chipset and the new chipset. So I'm going to be sending some adapters to be disassembled. We'll see what's inside them, and that's to come later on. But I'll include a link in the video description. And it's interesting, delve into this stuff because it shows the prototypes and other things relevant to these adapters. And there's quite a bit of notes and other information that's on this particular page. Of course, many others at the Arden tool. But let's go through and get on to the next item, just so I don't have a super long video as well. We've got those off to the side. They're good and they're anti-static. And then, so we have, we can probably do this one. I know what this is. And I actually have a second one of these adapters coming in, and it's for later content. Really nice packaging. I feel like Christmas here. Except it's not so festive of wrapping. It's just brown paper. And maybe I should go through and play like a kid at Christmas. Okay. And she's left a tag here, at least, where it came from. So, and these are still sealed. I'll go through. I'm going to leave this sealed for now. There's the vendor on eBay. The shout out, I guess. And so this is just a cable that goes through from the PC Junior and also the PC convertible. I got it for mainly the PC convertible aspect. And so I'll break the shrink wrap when I get to that aspect with these. And this just adapts it between the output, the video output of the PC Junior or the PC convertible to a CGA connection. I have some other stuff coming in kind of for some goodies in that regard that we're going to test out and kind of see how we can do video capture off of this stuff as well. So I'm going to leave that one wrapped up for now, shrink wrapped, not fully unbox it. And let's go on to the next one. And this is just kind of the gets to be some of the odd items. Okay, packed very well, brown paper, a little bit of bubble wrap. And through that. Just notch that. Okay. That's really in here. I mean, not complaining about good packing in this case. Okay, an anti-static bag, because it is a circuit board. And this is just one of the kind of odd microchannel boards that's out there. This is actually supposed to control a video disc player and get all kinds of, it's a laser data, this adapter name, and it's got some, looks like some probably microcontrollers and things like that. I'm not sure if some of these, like these ROMs should be populated or anything like that. But ultimately this is going through to be, there might be even a picture of it in the ADF page. I don't know what the adapter ID of this is, but we'll get some better pictures of it and get a little bit more documentation going on. This even has a bodge wire in there. Laser data video interface. And that's loose, still held on. And I can tighten it a little bit by hand. Let's see if I've got my little screwdriver here. Yeah, it does a little bit better when you have the appropriate tools. And in fact, let's go through. I want to see if laser data video interface. So get back on screen. We're actually going to go through, and I can even do it this way to where, let's go to interact. We're going to go to the clicking on the home just to get on the Ardent tool. And so we're going to just do a example of searching on the Ardent tool. And can't see. Oh, okay. So that brought up the microchannel. Let's go through. Another way to do it is you go down to your microchannel adapters. There's your adapter description files, and you have them. It's just one long continuous page, even though it has these anchor tags in here for going to particular sections. And I have no idea where the where on the in all the adapter IDs it could be. So I'm actually going to go through. My browser capture on OBS is not as great. Let me see if I can find the particular adapter ID, and then we'll just pull it up here. Okay, and I hit pause. I was saying I'm going to search for it and then try and pull it up here. I don't see a link for the for the listing I was looking for. In fact, let me see if and I can see the browser capture. There's a 611B, and there's no picture, so I don't know if it's that 11. Yeah, there's that laser master controller, that one there. And it's, at least it in the browser capture of OBS, it shows the red link. So I move the mouse over it. That laser master controller, I'm not sure. I don't think it's that one. I'll have to uh, ID that at some point. Um, but we'll see what we can do for starting the documentation process, and software and anything else is going to be probably a pretty good chore to find on that. So and I do mean to hide myself, but just in the I going through in my order, and we'll get this back in the anti-static bag at least, and go through to see what more details that we can find. I heard a little bit of chatter on the Facebook group about this, of going through of people that may have some experience with it. So I think this is another, yeah, I probably think that this is a good, I went through and I tagged it, some pen marking. And I'll have to see if she has a tag in here as well. Very good eBay seller. Bundled up, brown paper in this case. Well, it's good that that tag fell off that way. And a Walmart box. It's not from Walmart. And so this is bubble wrap, but that's fine. I don't think that really I would necessarily have this adapter in use. I think that there's already a picture, probably from the auction listing as it is. I guess it's in plastic otherwise. And I don't think we have the ROM image here for that. But Dusty. Yeah, I think this is from the picture that exists for this is on the auction listing. And this is microchannel. This is for the original Mull 50, called the 021 Mull. And it's called 021 for having the MFM drive and controller. This is the controller for the drive. And it's in slot 4. And then the hard drive is on a platform and connects into that. And of course, with the Mull 50Z, they replaced they have what's called the DBA ESDI, which is the direct bus attachment, and it's a wider connector. It's the riser looks just has traces on it, and a lot better drives for the 50Z. And the 50Z, that Z means 0 wait states on memory, so it's better performance there as well. Same 286 10 megahertz CPU. But I look forward to going through and to getting that ROM imaged. We can get some pictures of that because we just have the auction listing, which is pretty good pictures as it is. And that just love that glob on that circuit there. How's that for design engineering? The blob of whatever goo, and this is, I think it's meant to protect it from static discharge. So maybe we need to be a little bit careful with that. And as I say, yeah, she's got some tags in here. Well, it's got addresses and things like that on there, but okay. And working at the time of being put into storage. And the controller might be working, but I don't expect those 20 megabyte MFM drives are working all too well. In fact, that's another thing I can go through and pause. Okay. So since this is specific to a particular system, it's not included with the rest of the microchannel adapters necessarily, or from like the storage links for the the different types of microchannel adapters that are listed down lower on the main Ardent Tool page. But drilling into the MAL 50, and then it has the hard drive risers, and that's what is showing here. And of course, this is down a little bit on the page. And then the pictures are probably from the auction listing, but it goes through and U1 is marked as that unknown IC because under all that goo. And I think I'm just wondering if I might have had this board before anyway. Maybe it's time to go through and dig under that goo to figure out what that is, to sacrifice an adapter and figure out a little bit more of what is there. I just want to scroll to the top just to kind of show, as I say, it's under the PS2 and then the 50/70 listing, and then there's a link for the 8550 hard drive adapters. And of course, being that was the early adapter, and then there's talks about some of the later ones. In fact, I think I have the later adapter and not this one here. I'll have to look at and see if there's difference between that microcode or something else too, maybe. And then we get into the DBA ESDI and even the retrofit for the MUL 50 that was DBA ESDI and had some ROM BIOS extensions on it to replace even effectively the MUL 50 BIOS for running that DBA ESDI drive. So I'll give a link to that as well. I just have to remember all the promised links that I'm talking about here. And let's get to the back again. And there's a little bit of information on the adapters in this last box. But I went through, and I think I even have one of these, or I had to go through and dig it up. Okay, bubble wrapped. There's some brown paper in there as well. And I'm not sure which is really which, or that it necessarily matters. I think in the order that I did, at least for the items that have a page up at the Arden tool, I think I can remember to include the links easy enough. Okay, there's one, and that ROM is it's not socketed, it's soldered in there. Not that it really matters for extracting any of that. Motorola, gives a transmit frequency, and this is called the baseband adapter. F plug, which is, cable plug, and this did radio frequency, and it was a early network board. I think they're like a megabit per second, and and IBM had the for the PC side as well. These are the microchannel versions that you could get, and it was the PC network. And I'll pull up the page in just a moment here as well. And so I guess, oh, and this is nice that it has the has it socketed on this one. It's got a clip in there for the PLCC. That isn't marked. I thought these were effectively two different versions. There's not a screw that can tighten down with the screwdriver there. It's clip was out of position. But I thought they were kind of like it was two different versions. I thought, and that's the reason I kind of was interested in. But I see it's all got the same layout. We'll have to see. Maybe I was looking at the socketed, and those have the same ROM contents. So at least I can read it on this one. And I think that these are, and it's not any real detail. Okay, and so I was, this is actually the broadband adapter, and I was even interested in the, it's got the layout down there. In fact, I can go through and, as you're looking at it, I guess. So, and the internal webcam doesn't do, I can go through and probably slip off to the side here because I want to see the one, and I'm going to sit here and chase my, because it's saying on the page that is, I guess it'd be better for me. Actually, I can look at the display I have back there. Okay, yeah, so that is U8, I guess. I've seen that U5 identifier on top. And I have to realize that it's not, yeah, the U5. Looking at the ROM chip, but actually the identifiers down below that is that U8. That's kind of an interesting picture, isn't it? For all the phase differences and all that. But we'll get that ROM image, that U8 ROM, and just to see what contents are on there, even see what style is in there. But the actual baseband adapter, that is above this. And again, I'll have this link on the page, excuse me, the video description, have the link to this page. But the baseband adapter is actually up at the top and is different. So This is the broadband adapter, not the baseband. The baseband is showing first, and this is under the heading of PC network. And so there we have the broadband adapter. So let's go through and get that down, and I'll get those links in there. But if you enjoyed the video of this unboxing several items here, go ahead and click on that like button, and I'll try not let it build up so much in the future. I mean, this is a couple weeks worth of stuff coming in that I finally had to just say, hey, I need to do a video and do some unboxings here. So, and if you are not already subscribed to my channel, please consider doing so. Recommend it to your friends that are interested in this sort of content as well. But this is IBM Museum. That's all I have for now. Thank you.